Parts of the U.S. and Mexico are in the grip of a searing heat wave, with the northeast United States seeing record high temperatures. On the southern border with Mexico, an arid climate already means hot weather, but now that heat has turned deadly for migrants attempting to cross the border.
This woman was crossing the U.S.-Mexican border illegally when the heat became suffocating. Paramedics working on both sides have saved her life, but some aren't as lucky.
A person who attempted to cross to the United States was abandoned by the people who brought them here. Today, we retrieved the body.
Migrants have been dying in extremely high temperatures for more than a week now. On the part of the border that's in El Paso in Texas, authorities there say around one migrant dies every day, but it doesn't stop people from choosing this dangerous route.
It's a lot of heat, a lot of suffocating heat. There's the sand. You go through a lot of things in the desert. It's cold at night, there's rain too. It's a lot.
The truth is that it's too hot. We're already a little dehydrated here, but it's too much. It's too much heat because it doesn't go below 43, 44, 45 degrees. It's just too hot.
A lot of migrants travel through this desert on the U.S. southern border every day. Researchers say deadly heat in this region has become more likely due to global warming. U.S. authorities say it's safest for migrants to enter the country legally.
We would highly encourage people to use the port of entries. Don't try to cross illegally, especially through the desert, because this brutal heat is unforgiving. And so what's happening is these people cross over and they're losing their lives.
But such warnings do not deter many of those trying to cross, and the hottest days of summer are still to come.
For more on this heat wave, I'm joined now by meteorologist and atmospheric scientist Matthew Cappucci. Matthew, good to see you. What is behind this blistering heat that we've been seeing in the U.S. and Mexico?
Yeah, so we have a big stagnant high-pressure heat dome, basically this big force field of high pressure with hot, dry, sinking air, and that does a couple of things. Number one, this high-pressure system is like a magic force field in the atmosphere. It deflects all the inclement weather away. It pushes the jet stream north. It pushes storm systems and clouds north, meaning there's nothing but sunshine to bake the ground. And number two, because this is high pressure, you have this sinking air. Sinking air heats up even more, so it's like everything with this weather system is designed to heat it up, causing exceptional temperatures at ground level. And the other issue too, the warm temperatures are combining with very high humidity to lead to dangerous heat index values where it feels like 41 to 43 degrees outside in some places.
Wow. Now, an international network of climate scientists has recently said that recent deadly heat across North and Central America was made 35 times more likely due to global warming. Can you explain the connection to that for us?
Yeah, so it's, of course, summertime. We're used to hot weather in the summertime, but we know the scales are being disproportionately tilted towards longer duration, larger, and more intense heat domes. What that means is that otherwise high-end events are being pushed into record territory. I liken it to, imagine if you were playing basketball, for example. Getting a slam dunk is difficult, but imagine that the floor is getting a little bit higher every time. That means each time you go to shoot a basket, it'll be that much easier to get a slam dunk. Same thing here. The baseline is warming, so these otherwise high-end events are suddenly record territory, and the impacts are that much more severe.
Yeah, I think that's a really good and helpful analogy. Yesterday on The Day, we talked to a journalist in Mecca where hundreds of people are thought to have died on the Hajj pilgrimage due to extreme heat. Is there a limit to what governments can do to prepare for this level of heat?
I think that's a really good and a really difficult question. Unfortunately, with situations like this, whether it's a humid heat or a dry heat, there are two very different set of dangers. You know, if it's humid outside, that means the overnight low temperatures don't drop that much. And as a result, that heat stress, it continues overnight, and that disproportionately affects the elderly, vulnerable populations, meaning you really get no relief anytime. You can get that long duration heat event. But if it's a dry heat, as likely was the case in the pilgrimage to Mecca, people don't even realize that they're susceptible to heat stroke. They don't realize how much moisture they're sweating off, they're evaporating, and how quickly they're becoming dehydrated and overheated, because in very dry environments, you actually don't notice a sweat on you because it gets evaporated off so quickly. And so I think from a government standpoint and from a policy standpoint, we need to do as much as we can to raise awareness, and for those who don't have the means at home to escape the heat, perhaps open cooling shelters, provide water to folks on their pilgrimage. Actions like that can go a really long way to helping folks who might otherwise be in a really tough spot.
Matthew, thank you so much for your insights today. That's Matthew Cappucci.